Yeah, good evening, Mr. Adegoke, and good evening, Mrs. Adebayo. How has been your day?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. No,
Good
sir.
evening,
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma. Um, Mr. Adegoke, how far about the tax of yesterday?
I
Was
saw
it?
it. I think I sent it to you on your the platform.
I didn't see
I saw
anything.
it yesterday.
You sent it yesterday?
Yes, sir. Immediately I saw it.
Wow, I didn't
I
see.
told you that I cannot use the print screen. I cannot use the print screen on my system. I don't know what is wrong. I press. You told me to press the function. I pressed it. I'm still facing the same issue. So that's
Uh,
why I screenshot. It's only the output in my console, which happens to be a straight one. So that's why I screenshot in three different places so you can see all my outputs.
wow. I never noticed. I was thinking you only sent the.
I sent, I think around 11:30 because I did it yesterday.
Wow. Actually, I've
I
been
did it
busy
around
since. In
11:30.
fact, I've been busy since morning. I don't even check again to even check what others have done. But were you able to tackle the tax?
Yes,
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 very good.
I
So
did it.
you are going to quickly share your
Yes.
screen. You are going to share your screen. Let me see. I want to see. Then you quickly explain some things to us. I don't know why Mr. Dave is not here yet, and I cannot make call because if I try to make call, it's going to disrupt the internet. So I cannot make calls now. So you have the ground. You can share your screen. Let me see the code. I believe your
I just
system
want
is
to on my system now.
okay. Just want to
No,
on
I'm not
it.
sleeping. I just want to on my system now.
Oh, okay,
I'm using my phone to connect.
okay. That okay. On your system. On your system.
Okay, sir.
Oh, okay. If that should be the case. Um, Mrs. Adebayo and Miss Tinoye, you were absent yesterday. That is serious. Yesterday's class, Mr. Babajide can testify to it. It was very interesting. And the unfortunate part was I didn't record. It was very interesting, but no recording. I have problem with my recording
That means you will
stuff.
have to re-explain.
Explain wetin. ah Actually, if we are to re-explain or if I'm to re-explain, that means it's going to take us back a little bit. Welcome, AC, Miss AC. You are welcome.
Good evening. Thank you. This
Uh,
I actually have a very bad day. I'm
why?
so sorry. There is this we let me just say it's just a short story, sha. So there is this is an event though we were trying to set up.
Okay,
So the person that is our team lead, you
okay.
know, all the hard work we have put together this past 4 months,
You're welcome. So we wait for him, and as we wait for him, I okay. Let's do it this way. Once Mr. Vajide, if you can hear me, once you are ready, just quickly
I
notify
can
me.
hear you, sir.
Quickly
Okay, sir.
notify me once your system is ready so that I will stop sharing my screen. I want to share my screen to quickly.
Okay, is it the Python that you? Okay, yes. I think I use Python to solve it. I
Yes,
will. Okay.
just use any of your tools to the one you have used to solve it. Is your system
Okay.
is
Okay,
your
sir.
system ready now?
Yes, it's ready.
Okay, you can share. Okay,
I'm
you can
trying to
share.
connect, sir.
Okay. So don't let me share. Once you finish explanation, then I will quickly go back to yesterday's class and do some revision because of our newly admitted students,
Okay,
Mrs.
sir.
Adebayo and Miss Tinoye. They missed yesterday's class, and Miss Ese can Miss Ese, sorry, is it Mrs. Ese or Miss Ese? Sorry for the pronunciation.
You
The
just
two.
call me Essay, Mrs. But just call me
Okay,
Essay. Maybe
SC,
because of future
SC.
official something.
All right,
Just call me Essay.
SC.
I'll
All
note
right.
it down.
Now, you can testify to it that yesterday's class was very very interesting. So I will quickly explain that to Tinuye and Oluwatoyin after immediately after Mr. Babajide finish sharing his or finish explaining what he was able to do. So then we can now kickstart today's task. We are still going to do something beautiful today again, something fantastic. I don't know why Mr. Dave is not here again. And I don't want to make calls because it's going to disrupt the internet. Okay, you can just maybe drop a message on the platform for him to know what is going on with him. I cannot make call now, so you can just do that to see his response, what is really going on with him. So Mr. Badide, we're still waiting for you.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I believe you can all see my screen now. Yeah, you should be able to see my screen. Yes, the PyCharm is on. This was exactly what we did yesterday. I will run it now, but because of the people just joining us, they might not get it, but I will now use whatever we have as the output to explain. Now, if I run this code, if you observe, it quickly displays something here. And what is this? It says enter your first name. I will first of all attend to all of this output and get our result. Then I will now come back to this question and I will explain this code. So I will type. So today I'm going to use, I used Dave and Adegoke yesterday. Let me use essay and sorry, where am I even typing? The output, yes. I should type here. So let me use essay. That is my first name. And let me use Adebayo. That is my second name. So that is enter your surname. Then the next question says enter your date of birth in this format. That is days first. So the day of my own birthday is 19, assumption, while the month is 12, assumption, and the year 1890, when I'm not a ghost. Is it correct? 1890, yes. So once I click enter again to see the output, you will discover that it gives a line that contains the surname, which is Ese, sorry, the first name, which is Ese, the surname, Ese, the surname, which is Adebayo, and your date of birth you supply is this. Fine. If you notice what I entered, it was only these three parameters. But while having the output, we have all of this. So the task yesterday was you are employed in a particular organization. Precisely, we use a bank. To demonstrate yesterday. The bank manager has called you as a developer that, oh, look at what is on ground. We have millions of customers to attend to, and we are short of workers. So, as a developer, quickly design and develop an app so that our customers around the whole world can download. Then they should be able to submit their profile. Now, the bank might need you to submit your NIN, submit your BVN, upload your passport, upload your address, do all sort of, or just supply all sort of credentials, very important informations about their customers. They want to collect it. So they want to boycott the aspect of all customers to come and queue in the bank, to have a long queue and start fighting, maybe stay under the sun for long and all those kind of things. So to stop all those things, they need you to create an app so that all their customers can just be in their room or anywhere they prefer and submit all this information instead of going to the banks and queue. So you as a developer, you need to write a code. That was exactly what we have done. But in the assignment I gave, I asked them to include, we stopped at this, we stopped at first name, last name, and date of birth in the class yesterday, and this is the code for it. So I asked you guys to include NIN, BVN, address, next of kin. Yes, I added 1 2 3 4. Yes, I added another 4 parameters as your task. So this is exactly what has happened. Now let's go back to the slide. Let's go back to the slide. Let's go back to the slide. We really did a lot yesterday and we are going back. It's fine. So I'll start from here. Actually, I'll be scrolling back, or okay, let me start from where I'm supposed to start. So this is page 51. Page 51. So let me start from, yes, creating variables. Let me see whether I can start from the rules. Yes, let me start with the rules. Now I was able to explain yesterday that in Python, variable is very important. Variable, in general mathematics, we know variable as unknown. Yes, we know, we do call it unknown. But in Python, variable is a container which is known. Is a container which must be known. So what do we mean by container? Container is where we store something. We keep something inside that container. So variable can now be a storage place. Exactly. Variable is a storage place in Python where we can store anything. What can we store? Example, we can store a name, we can store even names, we can store date of birth, we can store age, we can store address, just like what the application we just created. All those things you have. Let me show us all this F name, L name, date of birth. They are all variables in this code. You can see that it says it equals to. This equals to means that we have stored this thing inside this particular variable. What we have done is, this is a variable and this is the value, the thing we have stored. Anybody can buy a bag and decide to store anything inside. I've bought a particular bag and I'll be using the bag to do shakara up and down. I put my system, I'll be working like a cat, and I've seen that another person with that same type of my bag and he's using it to pack hammer, using it to pack saw. Just imagine. That means you can have the same variable names but different values. It depends on your choice. It depends on what you want to store inside that variable. So having F name does not mean you should have a first name. You can have a first name. You can have F name and in your mind it might mean another thing. You can have L name and in your mind it might mean another thing. So having all these variable name is your choice. You just try to put it anyhow. Like this now, in my own code here, I've used DOB. To me, it means date of birth. Now, at your own end, you might decide not to use this. You might decide to use this and this, and it's still the same thing. To you, you know that this is date of birth. So it's still a variable name. So let me go back to the slide. So in my slide, I have rules that is guiding how we can declare variables. So after After explaining this, I will just move on with today's class, so I won't want to waste much time so that we can be able to do so many things. So a variable can have a short name like what we have done, xyz, we did that yesterday, or a more descriptive name just like one I just showed you. We have age, we have, this is car name, this is total volume. So we have some rules guiding variable names. The first rule says a variable name must start with a letter. That is a condition. It must start with a letter. It is a must. And what are the letters? A to Z. So it could now be positive. Sorry, I said positive. It could be either uppercase or lowercase. But any variable name you want to declare in any programming language, most especially in this Python, it must always start with variable, either A, B, C, D to Z, or you use underscore. That underscore I just used to separate the DOB just now. This is it. This is what is called underscore. It's totally different from dash. This dash is not dash in coding. We call it hyphen. So this hyphen and this underscore, they are two different things, although they are on the same key on your keyboard. So you know how to use what to press to get one for another. So the second rule says a variable name cannot start with a number. Listen to these two. A variable name must never start with a number. So you can't say 2f name. You can't say 2. Don't just use number to start any variable name. Those are rules. Then the third rule says a variable name can only contain alphanumeric. That is, you can mix letters and numbers together. Now, if you can mix letters and numbers together, you have to consider these two conditions. That is, a variable must start with a letter. So if you are in your mind, if you are to combine letters and numbers, so don't say because the rule says you can combine letters and numbers, then you now want to use number to start. No, it doesn't work that way. You can have name 1, name 2, name 3, name 4, name 5. You cannot have 1 name, 2 name, 3 name, 4 name. Just make sure that numbers does not start your variable name. Then we have characters and we have underscores. We have 0 to 9. So they can all be included in your variable. Now, variable names are case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? While you are typing, while you are declaring your variable, you have used lowercase to declare age, or you have used uppercase to declare your A, while others is lowercase, or you decide to use uppercase throughout. If you want to refer to them, you must use whatever you have used or whatever you have typed to refer back to them. So that is what is meant by variable names are case sensitive. They are case sensitive. So we have some examples that I can quickly just go through. Look at this one. These are variable names that are legal. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, they are very, very okay. My var2, that is my variable 2, not to my var. So it will not work that way. I will make sure we put everything into practice yesterday. Just that I didn't record the session, but I'm recording this. So we have some that are not illegal. That are illegal. So like this one now, true started it is wrong. You put dash. If you put dash to separate variable name is wrong. So instead you use underscore. Then there should not be space between variables. If you want to have space, you use something to join them together, such as either to or underscore. So we are good with that. So we have these types. We have camel case, we have Pascal case, we have snake case. So just take note of the difference between the three: this camel case, this Pascal, and this snake case. So, and these are what we did yesterday. We tried to explain this. We tried to do this. If you have questions for those, the reason I'm doing this is for the purpose of those that missed the class yesterday. But if you have questions, we can just quickly attend to that after class. So we did all of this yesterday. Here we emphasize, from here is where we started our project. So we emphasize a lot on this. It is very, very important. Built-in data types in Python. These are the data type in Python. So anywhere you see str, it means strings, and strings has to do with alphabet A, B, C to Z. And there are some situations whereby you can convert numbers to string also. So we have integer, we have float, we have complex, we demonstrate all of this yesterday. We have list and we have boolean. So I make sure I explain this yesterday. That can you guys hear me? Am I still audible? If you can hear me, please signify.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I said for those that will be diving into data science, machine learning, AI of a thing, you need to master this string, integer, float, and boolean. Then set are very, very important. Among all these data types listed here, you should master string, you should master integer, float. You can see that I didn't touch complex. Then you should master set, boolean, and list, most especially. Although you'll be interacting with them, but the one you should master most are the one I just mentioned. So getting the data type, we did all of this. We did all of this yesterday. Okay, yes, I think we did all of this yesterday, or probably I didn't touch this yesterday. Yes, I didn't touch this yesterday. So I think this is where I want to start with. Although we're able to do all of this, as in we demonstrate them using the practical aspect. Complex, yes, this is complex conversion. You can convert also random number. So I'm looking at where to. Okay, let me quickly explain this. Python casting. I won't show example, but I will show example to be on the safer side. I will show example. Look at, in casting, you can read on your own what is written on the screen, but I do use a summary to just summarize the meaning of casting in Python. Casting means conversion. That's just it. Casting means what? Conversion. You can convert. Let me show you. Yes, you can convert any of these data type to other type. You can convert integer to float. You can convert float to integer. You can convert integer to complex. And we are going to demonstrate that just now, so that we can just, yes, type of conversion. This is example. So this is just example. I will demonstrate it so that you just get it. So let me open my terminal. I think let me add for today. Let me add another file. I will name it convert. So now let's assume that I created x to be equal to 5. I created y to be equal to 19.7. Assumption. I think that's all. Okay, let me just create one more. Z equals to let's say Adebayo. Correct. So now if I want to know the type of data I'm dealing with, don't forget what we did yesterday. We said we should print the type. Just a type of x. So it will give us the type of data we are dealing with. So I will copy this and paste it. Don't worry, for those of you that all these things are new to, don't worry, just ask questions after everything. So I have this, I have x, y, then I have z. So if I run it, yes, look at the first answer is this, integer. The second answer is this, float. The third answer is what? String. No, I told you that anything that has to do with alphabet is known as string. That means if I put double quote here too, it will change it to string. It will still print string for me. So instead of me to have float here now, you see that the output is going to change to string. Let's see. You can see I have double strings now. Why? Because I'm using this double quote or single quote surrounding my values. That is why. So anything you use double quote or single quote to surround, it will automatically convert it to take it as string. Now the mission is this. For this purpose, for this example I'm giving, we can convert from 5, that is from integer to float. And what make this integer, what make this float? This is an integer because integer has to do with, normal in mathematics it has to do with 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 continuously like that to infinity. Why float? It means decimal numbers. That is, we have whole numbers here, we have whole numbers, we have decimal numbers. Whole numbers is known as integers, decimal numbers are known as what? Float, also in Python. Then the one that surround with what? Double or single quote, they are known as what? Strings. Out of all the data type I showed you before, these are just 3. We have complex, we have list, we have others, but these are the one we are working with. Now I want to perform some experiment. Now I don't want to see integer here again, and this 5 must be showing float. So let's see what we are going to have. What I will do is this. I won't clean it. I will just say print. So I will just say print. Okay, let me first convert. Let me just first convert. I will say I will use a again. I will just say, so I will use x again. I will just say a equals to, then I will now float it. Float. What do I want to float? I want to float x. That is, this code means I'm converting x to float and I'm saving it inside a. So I've changed this thing from 5 to float, but I'm saving all my answer inside another variable, which is a. So that means if I print a now, a, let me say a, yes. So it's going to give me, I'm going to have, let me see what I'm going to have. I'm going to have integer, float, strings, because that is what I have there. Then I'm going to have float again. Float is going to end it. So I'm going to have integer, float, string. Then the last one, which I just wrote now, is going to be float. And if I want to see, okay, I'll show you now. I'll show you that one later. Let me first, don't let me rush things. If I run it, you can see what I have. Integers, float, string, float. Exactly the way I've said it. And it has some reason, some situation whereby you must leave or you must have float and you must have strings. We all explained this yesterday. In a case whereby we need to collect data from our customers, we need to collect data such as telephone number and VVN, NIN, excuse me, and maybe sometimes your account balance. So account balance can never, you don't set your account balance to be a string, to be an integer. It is wrong, because it's possible that you may have kobo in your account. So if you have set it to be an integer, it is wrong. It is very, very wrong. It is very, very wrong. As a developer, you as a professional developer, going to account balance variable and you set it to be an integer, it is very, 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 very wrong. So account balance can be, in fact, it must be, not can be, it must be in float. So that you can have 19,700, 21,100 naira, whatever, it must just always be in float. So these are the reasons and the conditions when to have float, or when to use float, and when to use integer. When to use float is when you are dealing with currencies a lot, because no BVN will come in form of decimal, no NIN will come in form of decimal, so they are always in integer. The same thing happens here. In fact, no telephone number will be in float. We don't have 080 dot kiniko. No, it's never like that. So it is always in float. it is always in decimal, integer, that is telephone number. Just take a look at the kind of information you want to collect and observe. Does it have decimal? Does it supposed to have decimal? If not, then it must be integer. So you have to restrict it, and we were able to do all those kind of things yesterday. So that is that. Now let's see. I've converted something here. Let me now see, print the type. I want to print type A. So actually I want to print X, Y, Z. Here I want to have the result here, and I want to have the result of A. So we can now move to the next line. Let's see. I will say print X. So I'll print all my variables now. I will print this, I'll print this, I'll print this, and I'll print A. I will show you the different the relationship between A and X. That's the aim now. So I've used X, I'll change this to Y, I'll change this to Z, then I'll change this to A, and let's see what we have. All these results will still be there, but now we are going to, this print means I want to see what I have stored inside A, what I have stored inside Y, what I have stored inside Z, and what I have stored inside A. And don't forget, what we did to A was that we changed the type of X to float, and we now store it in A. So let's see what we are going to have before I will now explain it. We are going to have 5.0 exactly. Look at, we have 5, 19.7, Adebayo, and 5.0. What only happened was A is now float, that is now in decimal, although it's supposed to be 5, but 5 and 5.0, they are the same. The only difference there is that this one is having or is in decimal, while this one is not in decimal, is in whole number. So that is that on how to convert from one data type to another. But there's a restriction. That there's a particular data type that you cannot convert from that form to another. Who can think of that type of that particular data type that you cannot convert it from that data type to another ever? So who can think? I believe you can still hear
Complex number.
Complex number. No, you can still convert complex number. You can still try to convert complex number. We manipulate it. Complex number is the square root of negative number that result to that complex number. We can still convert it somehow. Yes. Another trial. Okay, let's manipulate this. I will copy this and see what we can do to. I will now use B. I will use B now. B. Okay, let me just paste it first. So I will save it B. So that B now, I want to convert this Y to integer. I'm converting it. It is in float already, so I'm changing this float to integer. So after I've changed it to integer, I now want to print B. So that to see what I have stored or what I have converted it to. But this can still be converted. Let's see. Look at. Do you have 19.7? No. We only have 19. This 0.7 has been removed. It has converted this 19.7 to 19 from float to integer. But there's this question I have asked, that which among these particular data type that we cannot convert to other data type? Yes, another person should try. Can you all hear me?
I think it's string.
You think is string. Is that essay?
I'm not sure.
Who is
I
talking?
answered
Who is
it
talking?
was the string, but you were talking to someone else, so I just muted myself.
Okay, I didn't hear that actually. So who is talking?
Okay.
Who is talking now? Because I okay, let me see because I'm not.
I have is essay. I answered that's the string now. This are the various things.
Okay.
Before, I think someone else was talking in the background before
Uh,
we did this example now, and I think someone else now has also
okay.
suggested this one.
Okay. Okay. For anyone that has mentioned this string is, in fact, you cannot convert it. This string, you know, just take a look at. Let's think of something. We are converting something from one form to another. The only thing you can do to this is to convert it to the way it is. You can't convert it from alphabet to numbers. It won't work. It won't work. So it will remain Adebayo forever. But this 19, you can convert 19 to 19.7 to 19, that the way we have done, and we have converted 5 to 5.0. We have done. We can also convert this 5 to string, just that we cannot convert the string back to integer. So we can't convert string to integer, especially when you are dealing with alphabet. Take note of that. So please take note of that. So these are just conversions, and again, you might be asking yourself, why all of this? Why all of this? Why all of this? Now, um, if you go deeper in data science, or in data science or machine learning, you'll be given, if you have worked with Excel before, all the kind of Excel you are working with. If I don't know the type of data you have worked with before, but in data science, there are billions of data that has to do with millions, billions of rows and columns. Even the Excel, there's no how fast you are that you want to scroll. My people, you can't scroll 20,000 without getting tired. You can't scroll down to 20,000 rows. You can't scroll sideways to maybe 100 columns before you get tired. Just if you are using mouse, it will even be faster. If you are not using mouse, it will be tedious. So what you can do, or what is best advice to do, is just take your Python and manipulate things. And the beautiful part of it is this: let's assume you have 200,000 rows, and Excel will only maximum it will be showing maybe 25 or 30 on the screen. If you want to go to 31 to 50, you have to scroll down like this, just like what we are, in fact, what we have here. But with Python, you can decide to say, okay, I want to see from so page, or from so rows to so row, or from so column to so column, or I only want to see a particular column. I think is giving notification, right? Do I have notification? Okay, in 15 minutes.
Yes, you have 15 minutes more.
15 minutes. Okay, once it is 2 to 3 minutes, just quickly let me know. I will create another link. I'll create another link. So with Python can decide to, we can tell Python that I want to see a particular row, I want to see a particular column, and with that you can just use this format also, that okay, this particular column you are seeing, maybe something is hidden. There are some situations whereby you see NA in your output, NA like this. Who can tell me the meaning? Who can tell me the meaning of this in Python, or in any programming language? NA. Have you come across it?
And
NA like this thing. NA. Can you see the screen?
Not applicable. Not applicable.
Not applicable. Yes. Is that all? Any other person? Any other person? I want you guys to try. Just say something. Don't be afraid. Just say something. I like Mr. Adegoke. He tried. At least. Yes. Who else? These are the things you should just know. Now, it's not applicable. It is not available in coding. It means that if you have this in your data, something supposed to be there, but it is not available. It's telling you that NA, it is not available. So let's take note of that. And there are a lot of conditions that you might need. In fact, you will need to remove that not available. So in that case, that is where mathematics comes in. In that case, you will need that row that you have not available. You will see in that column that there are some columns that you have some values there. Just that some boxes, some, not all, will have this. It's telling you that box, it has no value. That is not available. The value there is not available, but you won't have to omit it or abandon it. You have two options. I'm giving you the ideas now. In data science, you have two options. What you do is either you remove the whole of the rows so that this not available will also be removed, or you leave it in order not to affect your data analysis. That's your report. Then what you do is to calculate the mean value of that column. In fact, you just give it just one line of code like this. You just give it one line of code like this. Put mean instead of this float. Just put mean. It will give you the value. Then you replace all of this NA. You tell Python that anywhere you see NA, just replace it with whatever value your mean is. Just put it, replace it. That's all. So that is what they do in data science. And in most cases, they always intentionally they will put not available in the data set. They want you to do something to correct it. So you have two options. Either you remove it entirely, or the NAs, or you replace them. But so far so good from experience, you don't remove. Rather, you will replace. You calculate mean and you replace anything that has to do with NA by the value of the mean your Python has given you, and you'll be good with your result. In a situation where you have population of 1000 and you have not available values like 200, and you decided to remove it, so your population samples will have been reduced to 800, which is not going to give you a better result. At the end, you are expecting something like 1000 people, and you have removed. You don't want to replace, so it will surely affect your data, your report. So that's why it's not advisable to always remove, rather you replace. But you guys should always be responding, please, because I won't know whether I've logged out or network has disconnected me. I won't know. So whenever I talk, just even if it is nothing, just say we are with you. We don't know it to so I will know that you guys are with me, please. So I will just say in that case, actually it will let me create another. It will work, but I just want to show you. Let me quickly create another file. I will name it. Just don't follow the way I'm naming my file. Just name it correctly at your own end. So in that type, in that case, we see he said x equals to, now say string str string of okay, let me say integer of int of, then you put string 3. This will work fine. It will surely work. Let me run it. You can see that there is no error, just that there is no output. This is where the output is supposed to be, but there is no output. So for you to see the output, just say print x, then see the output. X is now 3, whereas x is not supposed to be 3. let's see. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. Okay. Okay, let me quickly let's switch to, let me click. So okay, I have this. So as I was explaining, so we have converted this int, I mean this string, to int. But the question I asked Babajide then was to change this 3 to a and still see whether the code will still run successfully. I intend changing it to just a. So let's see if it will run successfully. It will never run. You can if you remember that I excuse me, I said we can only convert um other data type to other data type, but not in the case of string. So this is a string, a confirmed string. And don't forget, like what I said, that string has to do with alphabet. And what Ase and Oluwatoyin said, that string is the answer. Yes, string is the answer. We can't convert string to any other data type. So that is why when we have a, we can't convert it to other data type. It will only remain string. That is why we are having this. It says invalid, invalid, invalid. But when we have 3, as time goes on, you grab what we are doing. So that is that about this aspect. So let me quickly continue. So these are the data type, the one I just finished explaining. This one will work, but it won't work for alphabet. Yes, something like this. This one will work, this one will work, this one will work. What they have done is to this is what I was expecting it to be. It must have a single quote at the output, and this will give you only have this if you are using an account that is your Jupyter notebook. But PyCharm is, it won't give it, it will remove this single quote. It will remove it single quote. So the Python string, we have done that. This, we have done that. I want us to do something again tonight. That's to create a particular application again. Then probably next week I will now okay, let's do this. No, don't let us do this yet. I want to create, maybe it will be next week by God's grace. We are going to create an application for a particular bank also, by God's grace, by next week. Then the task will be okay, you have a complaint, you are the complainant now. You have visited your bank and you have complained that, oh, someone just deducted my money from my bank account, and I didn't give anybody my ATM. I didn't give anybody access to my account. So I want to see what actually happened. You are the accountant already complaining. So there are few questions they will ask you. And what are the questions? They will ask you, what is your name? Nobody cares about what's your name. They will ask you some very important questions. They will only ask you to provide either this or this. The next thing they will ask you, or they will tell you, is write down your account number. Write down your account number. In that case, if you tell them that you cannot remember your account number, which is possible, they have another alternative. Okay, bring out or write down your BVN. If you tell them you cannot remember your BVN, then they will now say write down your NIN. Now, if you now tell them you don't know your NIN, they will have the last option. The last option is write down your phone number you use to connect to your BVN. Nobody cares about what is your name in the bank. The reason is this: you are not the only person bearing that name in this world. Take that. The second thing is your phone number, or let me say all these 4 parameters they've asked you. Let me rename them again. Your BVN, your NIN, your account number, your the last one I mentioned, I think it was your telephone number. Yes, nobody in this world shared those information with you. So that is the major reason why they are asking you provide any of these four parameters. If you can provide them, they will have access to your profile. So the same thing is what we are going to do by God's grace next week. We are going to create an application that will do that for us, that will check whether if you give them a number, maybe you cannot even remember that what's it called, your phone number. Let us assume all those four parameters they've asked you, you cannot even provide any. You now want to manipulate them and test them. You can even do that intentionally. Just try your bank. Just do that intentionally. Just put your, if you are married, just put your husband's phone number, or you put your grandma, or even any of your ancestors' phone number, or any of your ancestors' details, and give it to them. The next thing they will do is no profile found. And we are going to create an app like that by God's grace next week. Before we end, actually the class will end next week. We are going to create an app that will tell us how to tackle or how to create that kind of application. So once you enter your phone number, it will rather tell you, oh, successfully your profile found. No, no such profile found, or just any information you decide. But if the information you have provided is valid, you can just have access to your database and you'll be fine. So they will not check, they will not start scrolling, pressing their keyboard, checking the transaction, and that is, it will be at their own end. You won't see anything again. But the only thing they will need from you is that information, any of these four parameters. So these four parameters that you are given, it was created by somebody like you, that if anybody has come to lodge complaint, don't consider the person's name, because he or she will never be the person bearing that name. My name is Aziz Aweda. Fine, Aziz Aweda Adebayo. Go online. In fact, there was a particular day I was just curious to see whether I'm the only one bearing that name. My people, I was dumbfounded when I discovered that Chinese Chinko are bearing Aweda Aziz. I was like, wow. I was very, it was very, very funny. So that means that name is not unique. The only thing that is unique is my phone number is my phone number. No other person will have or will share that with me. We can share names, we can share so many other things. But my BVN, no other person. My NIN, no other person. My other these four parameters I have mentioned. So they are keywords in every developer's life that you must take note of whenever either you are going for interview or you are developing any application. These four parameters are very, very important. You must put them into consideration how you can work with them. You don't just work with them anyhow. You don't just give them access anyhow. There must be a thorough restrictions on them, these four parameters, so that nobody can come and just say, let me give you my number, and maybe the cashier just entered the phone number and he brought another person's information. That is error in your application. You cause damage. I was one of my lecturer, we were discussing as in a very big error from other country. It was the one that rectified it. And what happened was, they gave a developer an application, an institution gave a developer application to design, and these are the major. You just overlook it, that is not doesn't mean anything. Whereas it means a lot. It can destroy it can destroy the organization. What actually happened was this: payment gateway. Every institution now you pay online, fine. The institution decided to upgrade and also start paying online. Is an other country. So what happened was, students will enter their card details, any other method they want to use, and this particular developer did not check thoroughly. There are a lot of conditions. There's something we call authenticator factors in cybersecurity and ethical hacking. You confirm after you have entered your PIN. You still confirm. Are you sure you are still the owner of the person? I mean, you are still that same person that want to claim somebody. The next thing was, Okay, fine. If you are the one, let me see your face. It will match it. That's the AI will now match it. Okay, it's still the same person. That is as of today, not in the early stage where we started authenticating factor. So what now happened was this man made that silly mistake by not either network disrupted or there's no account balance. The account you want to pay 10,000 naira to a particular institution, and you discover that the payment was not successful. This developer allow everybody that make attempt to pay money, either successful or not, it will issue receipt for the person that you have made payment. All students discovered that and they were all just trying rubbish. All of them for that semester they all got receipt. So there's no way to trace it back to who paid truly and who did not pay. And these are the common error. You don't just give access to, in fact, these 4 parameters anyhow, especially when it comes to back end as a developer. So you take note of that. Very, 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 very crucial. So in order not to waste more the remaining time, let's quickly create another beautiful app tonight, and it will help. I don't know. Okay, it doesn't necessarily you are a teacher, but it will help those in teaching line. So what we are going to create tonight is a simple calculator that will solve we are going to create it twice that will solve. Let's say calculator. I will call it calc. You can call it any name you like at your end. I will call it calculator. Let me close this once. Let me close them. I still have them here. So this calculator we want to solve some quadratic equation. Solving quadratic equations using Python. Fine, using Python. Quadratic equation using Python. Good. So these are the form. What are the form? Ax raised to power of 2 plus bx plus c, everything equals 0. So any equation in this form, we should be able to use our program. We are not going to restrict it to sorry, my defender, you're not serious. So any particular quadratic equation, I mean any form of solving quadratic equation using Python. So or should I reframe it as solving any form? Yes, solving any form. Is it correct? Any form of, good, solving any form of quadratic equation. That is, if there is no quadratic equation in this world that you use this calculator and it will not solve it. So it will surely solve it. So what we are going to do now is we need a module. We must first import a module. So you say import CMass. Yes, import CMass. And actually we can import mass. I will explain the difference between the two. Import mass. Yes, import mass. So this mass is limited, but import CMass is not limited. CMass means complex mathematics, but mass is just only mathematics. If you are dealing with anything algebra, polynomial, so you can import only if your intention is just you know what you are doing, or you want to create an app. But to be on the safer side, it's always advisable to use CMass. Why? Because your users might need to solve something complex, so you must import that complex mass. So I'm going to comment this because I don't need it. So here this question says now solve. You remember the reason why we are putting hash, that is each Python should overlook it. Solve the equation below. So what is the equation? The equation says, okay, I won't say solve the equation below. Solve the equation from, or let me say solve or let me this. Is it integer we should use, or we should use float? So we will go for the response.
Let's use float, sir.
Why, sir?
Because the value of a, b, c cannot be a whole number. It can be in form of fraction, so that's why it's more advisable to use the float so that you can get the actual number.
Okay, it's advisable to use floats because it is not always every time we have quadratic equation with whole numbers. We can have decimals, we can have it in form of fraction. So it is advisable to use float. So with this now, we are good to go. Just say float, that is anything that should be stored inside A should be float or can be float. So after that, you now open bracket for it. So that is anything that we want to store inside of A should be float. Now, since we are expecting everybody in this world to be able to use our applications, that's our calculator, we should allow them to use their hand to type whatever values they have at their own end. So in that case, to achieve that, we need to make use of input, that is input. Is it correct? Yes, input, that is use your hand to type. Is it float you want to type, or is it integer? Anything you like, just type it. That input will do that. So don't forget to open that bracket for it again. It's very, very important. The first bracket is just for that float. After typing input, you open bracket for that same input also. So the next thing is, since you are writing alphabet, don't forget it must be in double quote. Always be conversant with double quote. I like using double quote. Although single quote will still work, but stick to double quote. Now the next thing to do is you now pass message. You pass message to your user. Make sure it is comprehensive. Make sure it is something they will understand. Just say enter the value of A in your equation. So the person will understand this, that okay, they want me to enter the value of A in my equation. So you are good to go with that. So I don't like typing, so I want to copy. It's good to be lazy sometimes. It's good to be lazy. So now you change this to what? Value of B in your equation. You do the same thing here. Value of C in your equation. Then this will only allow users to enter the values A, B, C, which are very, very important. It's like if you are using the quadratic formula, which they always call almighty formula, which is wrong. There's no almighty formula in this world. Either quadratic formula or any other formula. Now, if you are using that formula, you only extract the parameters A, B, C and put in the formula. So the same thing is what we are doing here. Now, the next thing is now to write out the formula out ourselves. So the next thing is this. Just say formula. You can use F. Anything. You can use FML. I don't know, but I will stick to F. F equal to, that is to my own end here. My F is what? Formula. What is the formula? The formula says minus b, I will state it verbally, then I will now explain something. Minus b plus or minus the square root of everything, that's b squared minus 4ac. Now all those things I have stated, everything divided by 2a, everything divided by 2a. So if you are punching your calculator, we say 2 plus 3 divided by 2. If care is not taken, calculator will give you a very wrong answer. 2 plus 3 divided by 2, it will give you 3.5. You can punch it. 2 plus 3 divided by 2, it will give you 3.5. Yes, 3.5. But if you say into bracket of 2 plus 3, you now close the bracket, then you now divide everything by 2, is another thing entirely, and which is the correct way. So the same thing is what we are going to do here. The formula says minus b plus or minus the square root of blah 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 blah, everything, not only the square root is divided by 2a, everything divided by 2a. So we have to enclose all these things inside the bracket. That is, this divided by, then 2 times a. So what do we have? This is the numerator, the 2a. So we can now write out this. Now say minus b plus, we don't say plus or minus, we write it separately. So I can now name this one formula 1 f1. Don't forget is 0, not 1f. Okay, sorry, I've passed the level. So minus b I will do for plus, I will do for minus. Minus b, now say mass. Now this time around you are calling c mass. The module we imported, this thing we imported, we now call it here. Just say c mass dot square root. Yes, that is the square root of, now say b square minus 4 times a times c. This is a formula for plus. So we now copy this and paste it. So it's going to be formula 2. So this time around it's going to be minus. It's going to be minus. So I have plus, I have minus. So we are going to have two different answers. So the next thing to do is now to print. I want to see f1. Then I will copy it. No, we have not printed it. Print means I want to see the output. F2. Now we have written a whole calculator to solve any form of quadratic equation in this world. Yes, any question? Or someone just join? Okay, someone just join. So let's see whether our code is working fine now. Let me quickly explain again. We are to import this module to solve. Actually, if you remove this c, it's going to restrict the formula to only normal quadratic equation. But if you put the c back, it means solve anything complex, either complex or normal, it will solve it. Just like it's better to be in float than to restrict your data type to integer alone. So now, after importing that, the instruction says solving all form of quadratic equation using Python. Anything that looks like this, fine. The next question is solve equation given by any users. So this formula or this code will do all those kind of things. Let me now explain it back. A, you are storing something. What are you storing? This thing. Then how do you want to store it? You want it to be a float, and you are expecting user to use their fingers to type. Then what message do you want to type? What do you want to pass? This is the message. Now just say okay, fine. If that should be the case, enter the value of a in your equation. Yes, since it is just equation, just say equation. I wanted to change it to equations before. So the second b, now just say solve this, input, enter the value of b in your equation. So they will know that this equation that I've written down, this is what I will input. The same thing happens here. So either float or, in fact, always put it in float, please. So the next thing is to write out the formula. The formula says minus b plus or minus. That plus or minus, you have to separate them one by one, because we solve for x. We are going to have x equals to this or this. X equals to this or this. So I don't want to use x. That's why I'm using ff. You can use x1. You can use x1. Let me use x1 there, so that you are used to x in mathematics like that. So let me use x1, x2. That is the first x, the second x. Anyhow, so now I want to see the value of that x1. I also want to see the value of that x2. That is the importance or the function of this print. If I have stopped here, it will still work, just that I won't see the result. I won't see anything, but the code will work successfully. So for me to see the result, I must print whatever this one will give me, whatever this one will give me. So let's run it and see. Boom. Let's see. Just be prayerful.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What does that symbol? What does it represent?
Complex mathematics.
Okay, sir.
Complex mathematics. If you use ordinary math, it means you are solving just ordinary mathematics, which could be integration. If you are solving integration, calculus, you import only mathematics, not C math. In fact, not even this time around, not even mathematics you are going to install. You are going to install scikit. That's another module entirely. You want to solve scientific calculations, but maybe at your own end, or maybe sometimes in the nearest future you can still do that. So now the what is it called is expecting us now to use our finger to type. It says enter the value of a in your equation. So I want someone to quickly write down an equation, then the person should unmute himself or herself and start giving us the value. Quickly. Anyone? Any equation, just form anyone. Just form anyone. Don't be scared. This code will solve anything.
Even the value.
Yes, after you have written down your equations, just bring out the value that stands with x. You know, we have something x squared, something x, and the constant. So those are the ABC. The ABC in your equation. You know, yes, this is the equation. Your equation will look like this. So something you have written with x squared, something you have written with the x, and something that stands alone. It could be minus or negative. No worry. Just say if it is minus, just say if it is negative. We are good. So anybody? You should just write anything. Don't look at textbooks this time around. Just write anything. Use this format. Just use this format. You can write 1 million x squared plus 3 million bx plus anything, 0. That's how to form equation. Just don't waste time. But I don't want to use my, so that you say I've computerized the code. That's why it's solving my own problem.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you.
Let the value of our a to be equal to 1.
1, okay.
Yes.
Enter.
Value of our b to be equal to minus 1.
Okay.
And value of our c to be minus 12.
Minus 12. So once we hit enter, we should have something. Okay, I use this. Can you see the error here? You see where it's pointing at? There's nothing like this square. I'm sorry, this is supposed to be square. Is that clear? This double asterisk means raised to power. So I'm using this as if I'm writing expression. Is that clear? So I will take it again. 1 minus 1 and 12, right? Sorry, 1 minus 1 and minus 12. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it says 1, enter, minus 1, enter, then minus 12. Yes, we are good to go now. This is our answer. Is that taking? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
So this is our answer for that what's it called, for that solution. This is the answer. The answer is 4 for first, and the answer is -3. So you won't have this 0j is 0j if you solve it manually. But it's just the reason why it's like this is because we are calling C maths. That's it should put it in complex mathematics. So there are questions that can result to complex maths. I have a question in my head that can result to what's it called, complex mathematics. So after giving you that, after giving you my own, then we now modify this print. It's not good at all. I would ask us what is not good there, but let me give us my own value. I will say where
You said the equation you gave us is the answer. Answer to what?
which
Yes.
equation? The one, the value that says 1 minus 1 minus 12. These are the answers to these equations. This equation, this 1 minus 1 12 is like, the question is this: x raised to power 2 minus x minus 12 equal 0. This is the equation we have to solve, and this is the answer. This is the answer. Hope it's clear now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let me now give us my own equation. It will now, you discover that this 0j and this 0j will now have values. So I will use 1 1 1. Bravo. This kind of equation you can't solve it manually. You can't solve it manually, so it will always result to complex. So, and this is the real part of the answers, and these are the imaginary part of the answers. The imaginary part of the answer. So this equation can solve any form of quadratic equation in this world. Any form of quadratic equation. There are a lot of quadratic equations that can be funny. Let me give us another one. You think it's not quadratic equation, but it is. Let's see, we have 1, and then we have -1. Then C is now 0. Oh, sorry, I didn't press enter. Let's say C is now 0. Look at it. I mean, just write any form of quadratic equation in this world. It will surely solve it. So the first answer, if we are to solve this kind of question, this is the first x, this is the second x. So just any form of quadratic equation, we are good. We are good with it. So now, who can think? You as a developer, I've given you the task now. This is, I want you. I want to give you contract. Let us. I want to give you contract in real life. I've called. Who should I call? Okay, anybody. Someone after calling you, create an application for me that can help my student to solve any form of quadratic equation and send it to my school. So we'll pay you money. You are good. You have the code here, but it's not good. This code is not perfect. Who can make it perfect? Or who can edit? Who can just suggest something? We need to do something here. Actually, I have mentioned it before. I'm not supposed to mention it. Who can suggest what we can do? Who can suggest what we can do? Yes, you guys should think. The person that will suggest the correct answer will go. The person will receive reward this evening. And what is the reward? Handshake. I will shake the person through the system. Yes.
Yes, sir. You get the question, sir.
The question is, this code is working perfectly. but it's not comprehensive enough. Where do you think we can touch? What do you think we can amend? What do you think we can adjust? It's working perfectly, but something is not good. Who can think? Something is not good. Who can think? Just look at the code. Let me minimize, let me reduce this. Who can think? We have the code from here down here. Something is not comprehensive somewhere around somewhere. Who can think of what we can do?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm with you, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Dave, I'm with you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. We are hearing you, sir.
The place we have. The place we
Oh, the network is breaking.
have plus.
Plus.
Or star. Is that? Oh
This
my
place.
God.
This place. Is it this place?
Is it plus or star? Yes.
No, if you say star, it means
Yes, sir.
b times 2. That is whatever value you have here times 2. But if it is star, it means raised to power, and the formula is always raised to power like this. So this star means raised to power. Actually, the formula is working perfectly. It is giving us the correct answer. For us to know that it's giving us correct answer, let me give you an equation. I know the answer offhand. Let's say 1, x is 1, and this is let's say 5, and let's say this is 6. So the answer I'm expecting is something 2 and something 3. You can see. So I have the 2, I have the 3. So it's working perfectly. It's perfectly working, but something is not okay. Essay, are you with us? She has left. Okay, let me. Mr. Adegoke, can you suggest?
I have no idea, sir.
Okay, this is what is happening. If you look at our results, what is all this? It doesn't make sense. The result is okay, the result is perfect, is correct, but it doesn't make sense. All we can just do is to pass a message to the user that, oh, this is your result. You grab. You just need to modify something. You just pass the message that, guy, this is your result. Just say the first result of x is this. You guys, you grab it now. You see what I'm saying now. I want to copy this and I'll paste it. Then the second result, this one will now be second result. So it's now going to be x2. So you now see that it's going to pass a message so that you know that, oh, this is what I'm after. Because that if Yalata, those people selling Gary at the market, they won't understand this. They might just come here and be saying, what is all this? After they have entered the values there, they just, okay, what is this? No message is passing through here. So you will now say, oh, what is this? I don't know. Where is this coming from? I don't know. But if you run it again, let's see. If you run it again, you just say, I entered 1, I entered 5, and I entered 6. Look at the message now. It is now well comprehensive. That is, the first result of x, this is it. The second result of x, this is it. That was my question. That is there anything we can modify to make it more comprehensive? So all you just need to do is, as you are creating your app, you just need to be thinking of all necessity or all possibilities. Actually, it was working perfectly, but at the final answer, there was no message at all for anybody. Even me, if I don't know, let us say I don't know mathematics, I'll just be asking, what is this one doing there? What is this one doing there? But with this now, After I enter the value, I just say, hey, the first answer is this. I'll copy it. Oh, the second answer is this. Fine. That is the intention of why I'm asking that question. I believe it's clear now.
Yes.
Good. So that is that. If there is any question, we can quickly ask. I am very sure. I think this I recorded this. I make sure I recorded this session. So any question, suggestion? In 13 minutes, we are almost done. Don't worry. So any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the question, sir?
My own is not. It's not all that question, sir.
Okay.
It's just that since I am new to this system,
Okay.
I am beginning to be afraid. I don't know. I am beginning to be afraid
of Python.
of doing this work. I'm telling you.
Ah.
So now I'm not even I'm not even installed an Agoda.
Really? Why?
I'm telling you.
Why?
So I'm trying to install. I've gone all round, and then I'm not able to install it. I don't know whether I'm not able to install to download itself.
Oh.
I've looked around, so I could not download.
Wow.
But I've downloaded Python.
Python. What about PyCharm?
I've installed that one.
What about PyCharm?
It remains Python. I've not done Python.
Oh, and these are the two tools that you can use to write Python code effectively without stress. Either PyCharm or Anaconda. You know what I will do? I will send you. I will go through the web. I will send you link to download those tools. So once you have downloaded them, you let me know if you want to install, because there's lot of jam questions they will be asking you.
Okay, sir.
So if you want to install, let it be anytime evening time, so that I will be available. So that I will be available. So I'll be available.
It's okay.
All right, sir. Any other question?
Thank you.
I will give assignment, and the assignment is this. The assignment is this. Create an application with Python to solve any form of algebraic equations. So this is the assignment. Create an application with Python to solve any form of algebraic equations. So that's the assignment. I'll copy it and I'll send it to the group. I'll copy it and send it to the group. Is that clear? So thank you guys. If there's no more questions, so let's call it a day. Yes,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
I want this training is recorded, sir.
Yes.
Should we be extending this night, sir?
Okay. I will send it. I will send the link this evening. I'll send the link this evening.
Okay, sir.
All right, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mas. Yes. Let's call it a day.